How you doing, everybody? It's R&R Shrooms. This is going to be the next installment of the Spore to Spore series. We're going to start some spores on agar, but also we're going to throw a little bonus in there. I'm going to throw a little trick on how I get my grain bags colonized faster. The Olympus Myco bags, I'm not sponsored by them. It's just what I use. The products I use are really good bags. Products, they got a whole line of them. Super nice company. If you order it 2 days, 3 days, no later than 3 days, they're at their house. You ever have an issue with them, call them. Man, or I email them, and next thing they send more stuff in than that the issue was. But I ask them a lot of different things. And they're always responsive. Super nice company, amazing company. That's why I like Treatig's. Treatig's amazing. Olympus Myco. There's two big parts of what I use mycology. Other than that, I get outsourced stuff is cheap ways I do. I make my own grain, my own substrate. I do all those things. There's plenty of companies out there, good reputable people that sell a lot of different myco products, but this is how I do it. So anyway, we got the Dark Star spore swabs. I took off some fruits the other day. I want to get those going because I want to rework them. Dark Stars are really cool, dark, beautiful, cool mushroom that somehow landed on my doorsteps. I've got the clone of some fruits, original, and bringing it back, and also I'm going to run it back from spore. But before we get messing with those, I'm going to go in and get this grain out the way. This is in the 10 times grain bags. These grain bags, I can run up to 2 to 3 pounds of grain in them. I mean, when I say 2 pounds, I run 2 pounds of dry corn, and they weigh more than 2 pounds once they're hydrated. So I usually do, but on average, what I'll do is 4 pounds of corn, 2 bags, 2 pound bags, and I'll split it between 3 bags. So like a pound and a third per bag, pound and a half is a good amount of grain for each strain I want. But how I do that is I first colonize half pint jars and smaller jars, and this is birdseed, in these with my agar to grain in a smaller jar. It takes a little longer to colonize instead of throwing agar to grain in a grain bag and let it grow, which it works, but this is just how I do it. I get it to go a little faster for me, in my mind. But by putting it in the grain bags first, by putting it in the jars first, the half pint jars, they colonize fast. I got, I usually corn or birdseed. Birdseed works real good because you got a lot of inoculation points. A lot of little small grains, inoculation points. It's going to go out real good. But it's agar to grain. I did on July the 2nd. This one. I started this one on the 7th. So it's now July the 19th today. So I'll show you. I did a break and shake on these 2 days ago. I did a grain to grain with a half a pint jar in these on July 14th. It's 5 days ago. 2 days ago I did a break and shake. It's almost fully recovered from the break and shake. That's how I get my big grain bags to colonize fast. They'll be ready to spawn. It's ready to spawn. I could spawn it today, tomorrow, probably tomorrow before I do it, but I could get it ready because I got to get some substrate ready. I only got enough ready to do probably one. I got 3 of these bags I've done the other day. This is a Killer Gorilla Taj Mahal. I took a Killer Gorilla Dicaryon and a Taj Mahal mono and crossed it, and that makes some pretty cool mushrooms. Also got the garlic knots, a big bag of garlic knots ready to go. So we're going to get these 3 out of the way first. We got a Jedi Mind Tricked. Had a plate pen, and I got it on agar plate pen and grew it out, and a T1 transfer from the original plate pen plate where I clamped to its own plate, and then I got it on grain here. And this one here, this is a Blue Storm. It's really cool. Caps on the mushrooms. They got a orange with a blue rim on them, and so I had some albinos pop up on the original multi-spore run. I've got a clone of the albino, but this is just the basic. This isn't the albino. This is the basic blue storm one I got. But when I do my grain bags, I do a normal corn cook where I put it in an Instapot or pressure cooker. I put it in there, just 2 pounds of corn. I'll give it about 3 inches. I give it 3 inches. 2 inches ain't enough. It swells up to corn. I give it 3 inches of water above it. Okay, and then I run it to PC at 30 minutes. 30 minutes of 15 psi. I cut it off. When I'm in my Instapot, I'll set it at 35 minutes because it's running a little bit less. You know, around they say between 10 and 12 psi. I'll run 35 minutes Instapot, and it'll depressurize a lot faster. Now the pressure cooker, I'll give it about 10 minutes after I cut off, then I'll just depressurize the rest of it. So what usually is pretty much depressurized at that point. I take it out, strain it to a strainer, just a basic kitchen strainer, colander, whatever you want to call it, colander strainer. Put it in there. 5-10 minutes. It's hot. I don't run cold water over it, and I just bag it up, and it works itself out. I've got pretty good success with that. I don't add any extra sugars in it. I just straight popcorn. 35 minutes. Strainer 10 minutes. Bag it, jar it, PC it. That's how I do my corn. It works for me. Keep it simple. Simple works. So then once I bag my bags up of corn, I'll roll it up and I'll fold my ends in. Do not seal my bags. I'll fold my ends in. I'll roll them down, one fold down, and 45 the corners and roll it under it. I'll put a piece of tape on it once I roll it up. It kind of holds it together. And when I load it in the pressure cooker or pot, I make sure that the sides are covered with aluminum foil. Sometimes I just wrap the whole thing up in aluminum foil. So I just wrap it all the way up. That way it doesn't touch the metal. If it touches the metal, that plastic, it can handle the PC, but if it touches that plastic, it's very prone to melt it. These are very thick bags. They're 3 mil bags, but it's definitely prone to melt it. So I'm going to try to get this blue storm. We'll do these 3 bags real quick, get them out of the way, and we'll get to this dark star and get this spore started. Well, it's not going to break all the way. I'm not going to beat my arms to death, beat my hands to death on it. Loosen up the cap, unfold it. All right, inside, I'm going to pinch it from the inside, get it ready. Pull the lid off. Quick Smith, smells wonderful. I'm going to drop it on it. Do a little shebake, just like that. Pull it out, bag all the way out, like this. Finger on this one, fingers are clean. We'll roll it down, okay? Once it's folded a couple times down, I'm going to fold it in, back to itself, and just kind of accordion it from the inside out. A lot of people seal them. If I have a sealer, pressure sealer, or whatever, I'll reuse these bags. I'll use these bags multiple times until they compromise. And I've got multiple uses out of these 3 mil thick mill bags. I'm not cutting them like that. It's a 0.2 micron, so I'll take it once I got it in there. I just break up my grain, break up my mycelium chunk. It's got a little bit of moisture in the corn, no big deal. It'll dry right out. Here, break them up. More inoculation points, as they would say. The best I can. There we go. sometimes you'll find if you do the birdseed to corn, they'll want to settle all the way back to the bottom when you do the shaker. Just do a little shaker, right? Grab it from the corner, adjust it, and do a little shake. A little shake. That's it. That's it. Now give it a label. I like to take the label off the jar. Just drop the label from the jar. And bam. Blue Storm, High Garden Grain, July 2nd. And then I'm going to say that's a half a pint birdseed. Okay. And we got a pound and a half corn. And we do a G to G, grain to grain, G to G, and this would be July 19th. Alright. Yeah, I use masking tape. Masking tape works really good. And when you use this masking tape on these bags, they don't rip the bags, they don't leave residue that you have to deal with later. It's also cheap. And that's my labels. I use masking tape for my labels all the time. I rip my label a little bit there. That's it. Gives me a reference point. And if I got grain sitting around in hay, well, I know if it's been sitting a while, it's a little suspect sometimes. You know? I ain't just around. It's suspect. Colonization, not colonizing fast. So get the smaller grains that be sticking out. 4 or 5 days from now, I'll have a nice few clumps of mycelium in there. I'll break it up one more time. Once it recovers, she'll be ready to go. Let's get the other two wet. Jar in the wash me pile. Alright, so 1, 2. Smaller one, I'm going to go with. I got 2 more choices here. I got vapor, and I got a peanut lenses 9-mile cross for the Black Hawk, which I've got a tub of right now already of that same cross. I just waiting for it to pin. It's fully colonized, waiting to pin. So cool if I get a nice little cross on that one. But I believe my larger of the 2 bags, 1 and 2. So you can peel it right off. Masking tape doesn't damage the bags at all. Do any damage. Get it ready. Wash this off. Okay. I'm going to do the Jedi mind trick. 70-gram fruit. I know this is the same culture that I grew 70, but this is a plate pin. I've got a clone of the 70-gram fruit of the same one I'm running out. And when I get a plate pin, theory is it'll grow better and the bag grows. We'll try to get 100 out of this one. We'll try to get 100. I've hit 70 twice on this coming from spore in the first 2 grows, so and that's from a multi-spore, so I think I can get 100 out of it. Have a good feeling I can. Grab it. Try not to grab from the inside. That's the theory of it. Grab this. Head over. Quick smell. Oh yeah. Phenomenal. Alright. I should have given it a little better shape. I should have gave it a little better shake before I started. Had to get a little violent with it there. That's okay, we got it. Fold it down. A couple of tufts. Fold it over. Back. Fold it in. Fold it in again. Accordion style. Zip tie. breakup. Bring it on it. Also birdseed. Need to get me another bag of birdseed. I've only got about a pound and a half left of it. I'll start me some more small jars. I'm going to do the birdseed again. Those fast inoculation points. Found a good deal on some at Sam's Club, 50-pound bag, and there was high millet milo. Millet birdseed for $26. It's 50 cents a pound for higher end birdseed, not 50 birdseed. 50-pound bag, $26. It's a sweet deal. Sweet deal. Alright, so we're going to just label it. One half pint seed and pound and a half corn. July, I take G2G. Alright. Just quickly and get this out of the way. And it's up to grabs on there. I'm still on the fence on if I want vapor. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with the vapor. Alright. So either vapor or the cross. I don't know. I'm thinking. Now, unless it's small skin things, but I got cross with it. Looking for a pheno cross. Black cross. I got this vapor from Princess Cubensis. Angel. She's a really good vendor. She's got a lot of cool cultures and stuff. She won this from her giveaway. She sent me a nice little LC syringe of it. I grew a small little grow of it. And I kind of liked it. Just try it out. Say, little white mushrooms, little albinos. Just about 70% alcohol. Yep. This. Get it ready to go. Yes. Another little drop in. Down. Any grains get near the top. You don't want any grains near your top edge. That's where your contamination can get in at. You don't want to have anything for it to grab a hold of and take life. So having that, just kind of coordinate it in a certain way. Just how I do it. This ain't, there's a million other ways to do this. This is just how I do it. I'm not an expert. I just do what works. I see, learn off of YouTube and YouTube videos and watching other people, and they're on Discord and all that stuff. I just learned from watching videos, and everybody's 100 different ways to do the same thing, and I try to discern what the right and wrong, the wrong information from the bad information. And some people are just regurgitating what they've just learned to make a video. This is something I've been doing for a while, so it's nothing I just learned. thing is something I just learned a few months ago on the show. I learned it from originally this grab and drag come from Edward Grand, and I was doing the grab and drag with Ed's tech, and I was having issues with it, because I was the tweezers, because I was tearing up my agar. But his good buddy Dichotomous, come up with an ingenious plan to bend the tip of the scalpel and hold the tuft with it. It cuts right through the agar great. It works good. And also, I'll put the rest of that later on. And also, by doing that, by doing a grab and drag, I grab a couple monos and get a couple monos up there. But when you get your dicaryon, you're not fighting with a multi-spore that's 50 different, phenotypes fighting each other in a growth. So, nice clear plank. For these the other day, I've had them sitting for a few days.